Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to respond to the very unethical behavior by way of Zak George. And here recently, by way of, again, it's back and forth between himself and the dog daddy. And with Zak George now encouraging others, encouraging his followers, others that align with this very corrupt idea. Again, I talk about that in terms of approaching trainers of learning-based exercise. I talk about those who engage in this bribery-based methodology, very much permissive. Okay, when you look at how this sets in motion a counterfeit picture for so many, the blame shifting as a result on the dogs, as a result of what this idea represents, a failure to meet a dog's social needs. And in terms of, again, you see this level of just corruption, okay? Even while Zak George continues to attempt to market this idea as the so-called science of dog training. But, you know, when you look at just the fact that it doesn't even meet the standard, but the behavior from these individuals proves it time and time again with how they're trying to, force, okay, this idea onto the public in spite of the inherent problems. Again, talk about that. So it's nothing to do with the right thing. It's nothing to do with the truth. It's nothing to do with meeting a dog's social needs. This has been happening since the beginning. But again, individuals such as Zak George, now what you're seeing is he's actually encouraging, okay, those who align with this idea to leave one-star reviews and negative comments on the business pages of anyone who would dare host the dog daddy in terms of, training. And so he's online on social media advocating that, which is totally unethical, okay? And I'll tell you why. And I talk this whole thing about censorship, okay? Why it is that these individuals, they don't want to have that conversation. They don't want, to come out on the other side in terms of what the truth is, because that's not part of their agenda, okay? This isn't about the right thing, okay? This isn't about, never was about dogs the right way, okay? This is all about the corrupt human, okay? This is what it is. And this is about power, and this is about control. We've seen this before, okay? Now you're seeing it again. But when I talk about unethical, because here's the thing, none of these individuals leaving the one-star reviews and comments actually worked personally with the dog daddy, okay? Now, I talk about the problems, and I even talk about issues associated with the dog daddy. So there's nothing to do with supporting the dog daddy that way. Okay, this is about, the right, okay, to be able to conduct your business, okay, and even the issue about working through a problem, okay, and I'm a big believer in the freedom of speech, but, you see people that are not, okay, I mean, they're just not, because it doesn't, it doesn't align with what their intent is, okay, their motives aren't good, right, it's not about the truth, and you can see it. So here's the thing, again, seeing Zak George going on to social media, encouraging people to leave, disparaging comments, affect people's business, right? Totally unethical. And these individuals never work with the dog daddy. So they're basing it entirely on this corrupt idea that's a type of belief system, okay? You just look at the behavior of these individuals. It's almost like fanatical, right? And, trying to, affect people's business. And, it's one thing to, work, personally with somebody, and then you have a issue and you work it out that way, and they have a right to leave, a review or whatever. But it's a whole different issue when you're trying to impact people's business. And the reason I talk from experience here, because here's the thing, you go into my Facebook account, and this is unique to especially what's going on in the dog training world. Go to my Facebook business, I have a couple dozen negative reviews from, not just force-free trainers, but balanced dog trainers. you know, trying to impact my business and people I never work with. So understand, this behavior just isn't limited to Zak George. This is going on in the dog training world. But I speak out about it because I just show how corrupt the dog training world is, how just morally bankrupt it is. So it's just like, you know, it's beyond the pale. But again, I'm also believe at the same time of working through an issue, having that conversation, you know, bringing this. That's why I keep saying, Zak, bring your trash out into the open so people can, in a transparent way, can make a informed decision. It's not about that. He can't do that. He won't do that. Okay. I mean, rather he's going to engage this type of behavior, and you know, and I would encourage anyone. I don't care how you identify a balance for. You should not be supporting people like that. It's totally corrupt, unethical. You know, they're getting away with it. They feel like they're motivated to do it. You know, people are leaving them comments. I mean, we have to work through this. Have to have that conversation. I'm a big believer in that. I'm putting all the information. It's okay. Here's the problem. Here's the solution. You really care about dogs. Look at the state of the dog training world, right? And so, but you got people in all this that want to force. They want to censor. They want to shut down the conversation because it's about control. Okay, understand. It's always been about control. I mean, the fallen human. Okay, understand. This is a big example of how things get to a certain level when you have these type of dynamics going on, and so it's not a good situation. But all to say that you know, for Zak George to be doing what he's doing, and besides, you know, I talk about freedom of speech, but what he's doing is not just unethical, but in my opinion, it's actually you know, it's actually slander. Okay, it's actually goes beyond that line where if you're doing that type of thing that way, and these aren't people that personally work with these individuals that are engaging in this type of activity, it opens you up to legal action. That's my opinion. So Zak George should pay attention. I've just chose to just, okay, in fact, my attitude is, and again, I leave all those comments out in the open. You can read them on my Facebook page, because it shows how people really are. Okay, it just, and I make the statement that understand something here. This is where we're at, and so it just kind of exposes people as to, okay, because common sense people are going to look at the stuff and say, wow, that's pretty bad. But why are they leaving comments and reviews if they've never even worked with, like, that doesn't even make sense. Well, yeah, there we are. So again, all to say, Zak George, you know, he reminds me of somebody. I'll talk about my next video. I'll talk about who he reminds me of. There's a person in the dog training world. Some people may be aware of who I'm talking about. If you, I'll give you a guess and leave a comment of what name I'm going to bring up on my next video. Somebody that has done the same thing, acted the same type of behavior in the past. He kind of disappeared. Okay, there's your clues. But if you know who I'm talking about, leave a comment. I'll tell you, you know, in my next video, I'll tell you who I'm talking about, who Zak George reminds me of. Okay, he's done the same thing, the same person. He kind of like bottomed out, so he definitely reminds me of this character. Okay, lots of characters in the dog training world, but there's a certain character that he definitely reminds me of. Thanks for watching.